there. Very good evening and welcome to the news tonight. I'm Tracy Shilshi, and in the next 30 minutes, I'll be getting you through the day's top stories, starting with the headlines. Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs recommends budget session of Parliament from the 31st of January till the 9th of February. Presentation of the general budget on 1st of February. RBI turns to rural areas to ease demonetisation pain, asks banks to earmark 40% of currency notes for them. In the tussle for the Samajwadi Party's election symbol, Akhilesh Yadav camp approaches the poll panel, claimed that 90% of the people support the Chief Minister. And Syrian rebel groups suspend participation in preparations for peace talks planned by Russia and Turkey. Many groups sign a statement citing several ceasefire violations by the regime itself. Top story this evening, the Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs today recommended holding of the budget session from the 31st of January, when the government is likely to table the economy survey, followed by the union budget on the 1st of February. The CCPA, headed by Home Minister Rajnath Singh, met in New Delhi and made these recommendations to President Pranab Mukherjee. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Anant Kumar and Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad also attended that meeting. In a first, the government has decided to present the budget on the 1st of February instead of the last day of the month, as part of an overhaul that would also scrap the practice of a separate railway budget. The first part of the budget session will run till the 9th of February. And of course, the GST Council, headed by Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, met in the capital today, and in fresh roadblocks to the GST rollout, several states demanded taxation rights for sales in high seas. They also requested for increase in number of items on which cess is to be levied in order to deal with revenue loss estimated at 90,000 crore rupees post demonetisation. Also, coastal states West Bengal, Karnataka and Kerala pressed for rights to levy GST on trade of goods within 12 nautical miles offshore within the state, a standoff that led to Finance Minister Arun Jaitley agreeing to seek legal opinion on its constitutional validity. While representatives of the opposition ruled states unanimously said that the 1st of April target date for rollout of the new regime is not possible, even BJP ruled Gujarat said that GST could become a reality from September.
There were several other issues relating to GST which were discussed, and on some things modifications were made, on something it was not. Very important in all of this is we haven't even been able to touch the dual control issue, which is fundamental to this process.
One issue that was discussed at length, in fact for nearly 2 hours, was with regard to how to deal with the territorial waters of India. The current practice is the states collect sale tax from the bunkering charges, sail on high seas and so on. But in the draft law, union was defined to include the territorial waters.
Control issue has been settled in one way that in principle there has been an agreement that there will be dual control, there will not be dual control, there will be single interface kind of things here. Cross empowerment, but the cross empowerment, the area of IGS will be discussed tomorrow. We believe that as soon as the GST Council will approve all relevant laws, I think it will be implemented. It will go to the Parliament and to various states. It will be implemented as soon as possible.
July, September are more likely
I believe well before that.
On to another one of our headline stories that we've been tracking for days now. A day after Mulayam Singh Yadav took the tussle for the Samajwadi Party's election symbol to the Election Commission, Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav's camp approached the panel today. Leaders loyal to Akhilesh, Ram Gopal Yadav, Naresh Agarwal and Kiran Nanda told the Commission that the party was actually headed by Akhilesh now and not its founder Mulayam Singh. They claimed that 90% of the people supported the real Samajwadi Party that belongs to them. Observers say that it's unlikely that the Election Commission will be able to resolve the dispute ahead of the Uttar Pradesh elections. According to EC officials, the process of issuing the party symbol may take up to 4 months before a final order is issued. In the interim period, the panel could freeze the party symbol and provide ad hoc recognition to the two factions under names similar to the parent party. Meanwhile, reports said that Akhilesh Yadav today met Mulayam Singh Yadav at his residence in Lucknow, even as reports also state that there were efforts to bring about a peace between the two factions.
समाजवादी पार्टी के 90% एमएलए, एमपी, एमएलसी और जनप्रतिनिधि समाजवादी पार्टी अखिलेश के साथ हैं। इसलिए अखिलेश यादव की जो नेतृत्व वाली पार्टी है वही समाजवादी पार्टी है। ये हमने मांग की है कि इसको माना जाए।
All right, for more on this, Kriti Mishra has been tracking developments in Lucknow, joining us from there this evening. Kriti, good evening. Give us an idea of what we can see happening. We do understand there's been a first round of talks that took place between the father and the son, but reports saying, sources saying they were inconclusive.
Well, that's right, Tracy. Confusion seems to be reigning supreme in the Samajwadi Party. Going by sequence, a phone call was made earlier in the day that was attempted for a resolution between these two warring factions. So Mulayam Singh Yadav and Akhilesh Yadav had a conversation over phone that was brokered by Azam Khan. Later in the day, Mulayam Singh Yadav flew from Delhi to Lucknow. Here, both the father and the son met. The meeting lasted for more than 3 hours. Meanwhile, speculations were rife that after the meeting, Mulayam Singh Yadav could resume his position of being the party president. Akhilesh would be given a pivotal role in deciding ticket distribution, and Shivpal would be given a larger role in national politics so that Akhilesh gets breathing space here in Lucknow. What transpired exactly in that meeting, we are not aware, but later Ram Gopal Yadav came out and said that there is no compromise, and both the parties have approached the Election Commission, both the sides have approached Election Commission, and now the ball is in the Election Commission's court.
Has
Tracy?
any of both the sides, Kriti, given an indication of what the Election Commission said to them as far as a day or a date is concerned on the decision that the Election Commission is going to take?
Well, deciding this dispute is going to be a fairly cumbersome process, even in the Election Commission. So as far as Akhilesh's camp is concerned, they are confident. In fact, Ram Gopal Yadav today said that 90% of the people in the party support Akhilesh Yadav. As far as Mulayam's camp is concerned, they say that technically, and according to the bylaws, Mulayam Singh Yadav is in a very strong position. However, even if both the parties, if the confusion persists and if the conflict remains, even after Election Commission's decision, both the parties and both the sides can approach court for conflict resolution. Over to you, Tracy.
All right. I'm sure, of course, the cadres are not hoping that that would eventually happen, considering how close the UP elections are. We'll leave it there for now. Kriti, thanks so much for joining us for this story, which is, of course, developing thick and fast by the hour every day. And we'll keep an eye out on developments. Meanwhile, a day after Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a mega Parivartan rally in Lucknow, BSP chief Mayawati launched a scathing attack on the BJP on Tuesday. She attacked the Prime Minister for the alleged poor implementation of the note ban. The former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister claimed the common man has been hit hard by the centre's inefficiency. The BJP hit back, claiming that many BSP leaders will soon leave the party and join the BJP. A day after Prime Minister Narendra Modi targeted the BSP on the issue of corruption at a campaign rally, party chief Mayawati retaliated on Tuesday. She accused Modi of deceiving people by not disclosing facts and figures on black money. Calling the BJP's Monday rally in Lucknow a total flop, Mayawati claimed that people were ferried into buses to listen to Modi.
10 महीने के अंदर इन्होंने अपनी पार्टी का जो काला धन है, जो फर्जी मेंबरशिप के जरिए बीजेपी के लोग काला धन इकट्ठा करते हैं, बड़े बड़े धन्ना सेठों से लेते हैं, विदेशों से लेते हैं, उसको सफेद करने के लिए, नोटबंदी का फैसला लेने से पहले उसको सफेद करने के लिए, और इतना ही नहीं, अपनी पार्टी के नाम पर पूरे देश के अंदर तो दफ्तर बनाने के लिए महंगी जमीन खरीदने के लिए, और दिल्ली में ये लोग बड़ा अपना सेंट्रल ऑफिस बनाने के लिए जा रहे हैं, तो उसका भी पूरा इन्होंने पेमेंट वगैरह जो उनके दफ्तर को बनाने वाली एजेंसी थी, सब हर जगह सब पेमेंट कर दिया. और ये बात करते हैं बीएसपी के बारे में और पार्टियों के बारे में. इनको अपने गिरेबान में भी तो झांक के देखना चाहिए.
In a sharp rebuttal, UP BJP President Keshav Prasad Maurya criticized Mayawati for denouncing demonetisation. He also predicted that a large number of its leaders will soon desert the BSP.
रैली में भीड़ नहीं जुटाई थी हमने, हमारे बूथ के जो पदाधिकारी थे, कार्यकर्ता थे, उनका यहाँ पर आगमन हुआ था। और जब बूथ स्तर का मेरा कार्यकर्ता इतनी बड़ी संख्या में यहाँ पर एकत्र हुआ है, तो सपा बसपा की बेचैनी बढ़ना स्वाभाविक है। भगदड़ वहाँ पहले से मची है।
Mayawati also cautioned the Muslims in Uttar Pradesh against splitting their votes. She asserted that Dalits won't be swayed by hollow words. The BSP chief did not spare the SP's internal feud either.
As the countdown for declaration of assembly elections begins, political heat in the crucial state of Uttar Pradesh is soaring. All the political parties are leaving no stone unturned to woo the voters. However, in the tug of war, parties shouldn't forget Supreme Court's ruling that outlaws seeking votes in the name of caste, religion and language. Reporting from Lucknow with counterperson Shiv Kumar, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Meanwhile, opposition parties today upped the ante against NDA government and the Prime Minister on the issue of demonetisation. Raising questions on the end result of the scheme, they asked the government to take immediate steps to help those affected by it. The BJP denied the charge in defending the government. Even 4 days after the end of the 50-day note ban deadline of the NDA government, the opposition parties are in no mood to tone down their attack on the scheme. While the Congress saw details of the old currency deposited in the banks, other parties pointed to the problems faced by people.
Why are the restrictions continuing despite expiry of 50 days and Modi ji's broken promises? And why are they not paid interest for the period during which their money has been forcibly retained?
जो हालत है नोटबंदी के बाद तो उसमें तो बहुत विकट परिस्थिति है और यूपी का जब चुनाव है तो उसमें कुछ ना कुछ तो बोलेंगे ना।
तो वो काला धन था जिसको अब ये कह रहे हैं कि हम जनधन के ज़रिए दे के सफ़ेद कर देंगे। तो काला धन नहीं निकालने वाले थे, ये असल में काले धन को सफ़ेद करने का मंसूबा था।
The BJP defended the government on all the charges leveled by the opposition. However, the right-leaning Labour Union BMS admitted that people did face problems due to the note ban scheme.
निश्चित तौर पर दिक्कत आई मालिकों ने, और मैंने जिनको कहा ये जो अनऑथराइज सारा सिस्टम में काम कर रहे लोग थे, उन्होंने जानबूझ करके एक समस्या क्रिएट करी, इंडस्ट्रीज बंद करी, मजदूरों को जाने की नौबत आई।
एक प्रक्रिया है वो पूरी होगी और सरकार विस्तार से लोगों के सामने सब आंकड़े रखेगी। इतनी जल्दबाजी में क्यों है लोग? जब सत्ता में रहते हैं तो काम की चिंता नहीं रहती है, काम कैसे करना है, तब तो आपको बटोरने की चिंता रहती है, दोनों हाथों से लूटो।
The Prime Minister had announced the scrapping of 500 and 1,000 rupee notes on the 8th of November, giving a deadline of 30 December for people to deposit all notes in banks. The opposition criticized the move, citing problems faced by the people due to the cash crunch. The issue led to a complete washout of the winter session of Parliament as well. Opposition parties are now gearing up for round 2 of their protests, both on the streets and inside Parliament during the budget session that is likely to begin by the month end. With inputs from Pranab Goswami and Vishal Dahia, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And post-demonetisation, the Reserve Bank of India has indicated that it will focus on normalising the situation, at least in rural India. The central bank issued an order stating that sending currency notes to these areas need to be speeded up and that the quantum of notes must also be raised. It says banks must supply at least 40% of currency to rural areas. An RBI statement said that since rural requirements could vary from district to district, depending on variations in the rural and urban mix of each district, a certain percentage of allocation has been assigned to each district depending on the rural and urban mix. It advised that this proportion may be maintained on weekly average basis as it may be difficult to stick to the proportion on daily basis. In other news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated a 5-day annual 104th Indian Science Congress at the Sri Venkateshwara University in Tirupati. While addressing the attendees, the PM said that he will always be grateful to scientists who have worked tirelessly to empower society by their vision, labour and leadership. He also said that the government is committed to supporting different streams of scientific research. This is the second time the Temple Town is hosting the event since 1983.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the 5-day annual 104th Indian Science Congress at the Sri Venkateshwara University in Tirupati on Tuesday. He addressed an audience that included eminent scientists and Nobel Prize winners at the Science and Technology for National Development. Modi urged scientists to keep an eye on the rise of disruptive technologies, even as he underscored his government's commitment towards various streams of scientific research.
Tomorrow's experts will come from investments we make today in our people and infrastructure. My government is committed to supporting different streams of scientific knowledge, ranging from fundamental science to applied science, with emphasis on innovation. We equally need to keep an eye on the rise of disruptive technologies and be prepared to leverage them for growth. We need to clearly assess the challenges and opportunities for our technology readiness and competitiveness.
Praising Indian scientists and their outreach, Modi claimed that by 2030, India will be among the top 3 countries in science and technology.
That our scientists will further meet the challenges of enhanced quality of basic research, its technology translation, and its connect with society. By 2030, India will be among the top 3 countries in science and technology and will be among the most attractive destinations for the best talent in the world. The wheels we set in motion today will achieve this goal.
Modi said building a strong science and technology infrastructure that is accessible to academia, startups, industry and research and development labs is a priority of the government.
We can trust it a huge opportunity by research, training and skilling in robotics, artificial intelligence, digital manufacturing, big data analysis, deep learning, quantum communication and Internet of Things. There is a need to develop and exploit these technologies in services and manufacturing sectors. We need to develop an inter-ministerial national mission in the cyber physical systems to secure our future by creation of basic R&D infrastructure, manpower and skills.
Science and technology for national development is the focal theme of the Science Congress this year. Eminent scientists, including 6 Nobel laureates from different countries and about 14,000 scientists and scholars, are taking part in the Congress. The Prime Minister also felicitated Nobel laureates with gold medals on the occasion. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
The CBI on Tuesday arrested Trinamool Congress MP Sudeep Bandyopadhyay in connection with the Rose Valley chit fund scam after he arrived for questioning in the CBI's Kolkata office. Bandyopadhyay called the arrest political vendetta by the NDA-ruled central government. This is the second arrest of TMC MPs, with Trinamool MP Tapas Pal already in police custody in connection with the scam. The arrests evoked strong reactions from Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, who called an emergency meeting of her party. Meanwhile, on the streets, TMC cadres attacked the BJP office in Kolkata this evening and pelted stones, and in the ensuing scuffle, several BJP workers were reportedly injured.
Will fight out the battle like anything. ওরা এভাবে যদি মনে করে যে অ্যারেস্ট করে প্রতিহিংসা করে আমরা কেউ প্রতিবাদ করব না, ভুল করবে। আমি মোদিকে ডাইরেক্ট চ্যালেঞ্জ করছি, you cannot do anything because Trinamool Congress is right, you are wrong. You cannot suppress the voice of the people. You cannot bulldoze the people voice. তোমাকে রেস্ট্রিকশন উইথড্র করতে হবে। নোটবন্দি নিয়ে কত কোটি টাকার খেলা হয়েছে এটা দেশের মানুষ জানতে চায়।
Right, now on to Jammu and Kashmir, where the Assembly today witnessed noisy scenes as the opposition demanded suspension of business to discuss the Kashmir situation. The BJP, on the other hand, sought action against rival parties for showing disrespect to the national anthem. The National Conference, Congress, CPM and other Kashmir-based independent MLAs held protests over deaths during the 5-month-long unrest in the valley and gave an adjournment motion to the Speaker to discuss the Kashmir situation. Meanwhile, Jammu and Kashmir government said that it will facilitate and help initiate a sustained and meaningful dialogue with all stakeholders, irrespective of their ideological views and predictions.
It was very unfortunate that Umar Saab distorted out all the important facts regarding the unrest of the Jammu and Kashmir, and instead of blaming Pakistan for creating unrest and anarchy in the Jammu and Kashmir, Umar Saab blamed the elected government in Jammu and Kashmir. No government in the world history, in all over the world, wants anarchy, unrest during their period of running the government.
All right, with that, we'll take a quick break here. More news follows in a bit. Stay with us.
Recent letter which you have written seeking a fair selection process as far as the national awards are concerned.
People who are in charge of the conduct of the national awards and also Indian panorama, they seem to be totally unaware of what these are meant for.
Many of the critics of your films, they say that your films don't communicate with the common man.
Who is the common man?
Do you think that in a democratic setup like India, censorship really can thrive as a concept?
It's a very wrong concept. There should not be any censorship in any form, anywhere.
Watch To The Point with the man who revolutionized Malayalam cinema, Adur Gopalakrishnan, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Let's get to some international news now. And several rebel groups have said that they were freezing talks on planned peace negotiations with the Syrian government, citing major violations by the government forces on an ongoing ceasefire. The rebels said that they were freezing talks on the peace negotiations that were planned to take place soon in Kazakhstan's capital, Astana. Here's more.
Syria's ceasefire appeared under threat as government forces intensified their attacks near Damascus, and around 10 rebel groups said they were suspending talks about planned peace negotiations this month. The talks are due to take place in the Kazakh capital Astana in late January, but the rebels said they were pulling out of discussions due to violations by Damascus of a 4-day-old truce. The talks are being organized by Russia and Iran, which support the Syrian regime, and Turkey, which back the rebels.
هو حدث لعدة من الأسباب. أولا هذا الاتفاق ليس شموليا، بمعنى آخر هذه الفصائل التي وقعت على الاتفاق معظمها متمركز في الشمال والوسط السوري، في حين أن المجموعات المسلحة في الجنوب السوري لم توقع هذا الاتفاق. عدم وجود آليات مراقبة حقيقية وغرف تنسيق مباشر بين الأطراف لمنع حدوث أي خرق أو الرد على هذا الخرق.
The Wadi Barada in Damascus's western suburbs now has become a hot area for intensive fighting. Syrian forces continued their fighting there as they claim that the area is a stronghold of the terrorist organization Al-Nusra Front, but the opposition said it's the Syrian government that violates the agreement.
أنا لا أعتقد بأن وادي بردة سيؤثر على مجمل العمليات العسكرية أو وقف إطلاق النار. هذه القضية أساسية لكنها ليست مركزية بالنسبة لوقف إطلاق النار. بالعكس يعني هي نموذج ربما لطريقة التعامل مع النصرة في مناطق أخرى.
In 2016, 2 ceasefires were brokered by the United States and Russia but failed in the end. But analysts believe this agreement is likely to continue because of Turkey's role in the ceasefire.
القيادات السابقة لوقف إطلاق النار كانت تخرق نتيجة يعني عدم القدرة على التأثير على المسلحين. اليوم هناك تأثير مباشر. تركيا هي عامل ضامن بمعنى أنها قادرة على كبح جماح بعض الفصائل.
The Syrian government in opposition on December 30, 2016 reached a ceasefire agreement in an attempt to find a final end to the conflict. A string of efforts to find a political solution to Syria's war have failed since it began with anti-government protests in March 2011. The conflict has killed more than 310,000 people and displaced over half the population, including millions who have fled abroad, becoming refugees. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And finally, let's get you some updates from the world of sports in Sports Beat. The Supreme Court today replaced noted jurist Fali Nariman with senior lawyer Anil Diwan after Nariman expressed inability to assist the court in suggesting names for BCCI administrators. The bench has now asked Diwan to work with senior advocate Gopal Subramaniam to suggest names of administrators for the BCCI within 2 weeks. The Apex Court on Monday had sacked BCCI President Anurag Thakur and Secretary Ajay Shirke for not implementing the Lodha panel reforms. Australia dominated Pakistan on the opening day of the third Test match in Sydney. Opener David Warner hit a century before lunch, becoming only the fifth batsman to do so as he reached the three figures of 78 balls. Matt Renshaw also scored a century, ending unbeaten on 167 to help Australia reach 365 for 3 on day one. Manchester United continued its winning streak as they rose to within a point of the top four with a 2-0 win at West Ham United. Juan Mata and Zlatan Ibrahimovic scored goals in the second half, giving United their sixth straight win. Meanwhile, Sunderland held the second place Liverpool to a 2-2 draw, preventing the Reds from trimming the lead of the league leaders, Chelsea. Switzerland beat Britain in the Hopman Cup on Monday with a clean sweep of victories in Perth. Roger Federer returned from injury and marked his comeback with a straight set 6-3, 6-4 victory over Dan Evans. Switzerland then won the second singles and doubles match to complete a 3-0 victory. That's all we have for you in the news tonight from the entire team here. Good night. See you again tomorrow.